Fine. Let us commence the session. Yesterday we have discussed on SOAP-based web service creation, consumption, and testing. Today we are going to discuss about the second category: RESTful web service creation and consumption. So, um, based on some clusters request, instead of showing in the demo through Java, because the SOAP we have seen completely through Java, because some of the clusters they are working with Microsoft technologies. So by keeping in that aspect, this RESTful web service creation that I will be showing you through Microsoft products. Okay, the procedures are same, only the environment is going to different. Okay, uh, I'll tell you at the end of the session. I'll tell you what could be the corresponding entry that you have to make when you are going to work with Java, right? That's also I'll tell you. But even for understanding purpose, I think Microsoft technologies pertaining to these web services, it would be more clear, right? And I'll tell you a practical case where this web service is being completely explored for my RESTful category from the Microsoft division is, I think, like what we are using in our Google Meet, Zoom. Likewise, they have a software called Microsoft Teams. Okay, so most of the Teams software menus or accessories or their built-in tools are the RESTful APIs only. Okay, so RESTful web services only. I think once you are going to use, or I think might be, if anybody of you have appeared for webinars during this pandemic, especially most of the webinars organized from the state of Kerala, I think most of them have organized through this Microsoft Teams only. Because I have attended to some set of webinars. Basically, they have used probably more number of community have used that Teams only, right? The best example where the complete demonstration of RESTful APIs that I could able to see. Simple thing: adding a user, deleting a user from the meeting, right? Creating the schedule, occupying the schedule, um, regarding backend notification in the corresponding meeting, if it is going to full push notification service. So likewise, a lot of things that they have incorporated. It's completely based upon most of the cases that they did it through this RESTful API only, right? So to commence with that, I have given you something related to the composition of web services. Since I'm going to take the platform as ASP.NET, so that's the case. I have talked something about ASP.NET also, active server pages. So by coping up with that, we will cover that MCQ. From the MCQ that we could be able to understand and move forward, what would be the purposeful insights that ASP will give for us, right? Which protocol is used for requesting a web page in ASP.NET from the web server, right? Don't worry about the packages that what we are using, either open source or Microsoft based any proprietary softwares. We are ready to ask the content from the application layer. Okay, so which protocol is used for requesting a web page in ASP.NET from a web server? So what would be the best option for this? I have given you a clue also. The option is from the application layer. So what would be your answer? Assume that the options are A, B, C, D. Could you type in your chat box? What would be the best option? The answer is from the application layer. Application layer protocols are available in this options. So two options are available. From that, which one will be? That's the question. Yes, could you able to see your answers in the chat box? Yes, around 100 students are there. Yes, expecting your answers in the chat. Which protocol? It doesn't depends on your packages, right? Don't worry. Something would be different. I'm asking a question from your networking. Which protocol is used for requesting a web page in some package from the web server? Likewise, you question. So what would be the best option? Application layer protocols only. So in this, there are two application layer protocols are there. Among that, which one? That's my question. So could you able to see your option in the chat box? Yes, Priyadarshini have an answer. Ultimately, that's the option, right? Because TCP doesn't relate to application layer protocol. SMTP is available in application layer, but why we have not included that one? Because request and response services will be managed only through hypertext transfer protocol. SMTP is based upon my mail services. Okay, so it won't do anything with the request. It will work with the service only, right? That means a response only. Second question: what are the types of cookies? Here you have only three options, right? The reason to give that one is I want to explain this MCQ here because these two types of cookies are available pertaining to ASP.NET, but in JSP we have studied generally a term, right? Cookie. So there we could able to come across stateless and stateful. The same way only here. Session cookies. That means cookie is a variable which is ready to store the information that what we are communicating during the transaction. So it is a variable. It is ready to hold everything in that, right? So that could be the favorite content for any hackers. So the session cookies means the variable will be destroyed at the end of the session. Persistent cookies means the cookies can remember what it had stored. Okay, the cookies can remember, the variables can remember. So like our static storage class in all programming languages, right? It could be able to remember the last iterated value. Likewise, it could be able to remember that the value that what it had stored during the last transaction. Okay, so that's the case. So these are all the two types of cookies that we could be able to concentrate on ASP.NET. This is the terms that's being prevalent in Microsoft technologies. Third question. I think this is a question not only from ASP.NET, even the people who are flavoring with the C#, they know about this. What is the fully qualified name of the base class of all server controls? All server controls. Right? They are asking the base class. What would be the base class? They have given 4 options. Right? So server controls means they are talking about all the UI controls only. So ultimately, the option would be system.web.ui.control. So this is the thing that we have to use. See, in Java, that what we will write import that java.util.star. But in C# or in ASP.NET, what I will use? I will use the term using, right? Using system.web.ui.control semicolon. Otherwise, system.web.star that will import me all the necessary packages which are useful for implementing my program, right? So that's what the term that I'm ready to represent here. And this one, right? This is also that I have to educate you on this. So which file you should write for the connection string so that you can access it in all the web pages for the same application. Okay, in all the web pages for same. See, understand the question properly. You can access it in all the web pages for the same application, right? Application doesn't change. Okay, application is the backend here, but the role of application exists in all the pages of the single website. Example is very simple. IRCTC website have minimum 13 to 14 pages are there, including of all, right, including submenus. 13 to 14 pages will be there. Backend is a complete IRCTC software. That's all, right? Maintained by CRIS, Center for Railway Information Service. So they are maintaining that software. So reservation, cancellation, filing the TDS, right? Ticket deposit service, and if I'm going to book for a tourist train, right? Tourist coach in the specific train, and as well as I could able to offer. I could able to book a dormitory. I could able to book the bedroll. I would able to book my breakfast, dinner, lunch, right? So everything that services are being available. So even for example, I'm using IRCTC e-wallet also, right? So in that case, that financial management being linked with my complete reservation and cancellation management software. All these things are the complete application, a single bundle, but that can be accessed via a single web page in a single website. That website consists of multiple web pages. So in that case, uh, the connection string, the communication happening between my site and the application. Why they are specifically talking about this here, in Java servlets that we would have completely come across, especially not the generic servlet, web servlets, right? HTTP servlets. So in that case, the communication should be done through the servlet name directly. Moreover, if I am going to access, I am having a file called pom.xml. If I am going to access that file, that file will give me the name of the servlet class I am accessing. Okay. Likewise, what is the file here? That's what their question is. The simple question. If I need to access that, which file is available, corresponding file. So here the corresponding file is web.config, right? Web.config. So in this file, I could able to get my connection string, especially for a ASP.NET. See, for executing my web application in Java as a primary target, I could able to use my Tomcat, Apache Tomcat web server. It is enough for me. Likewise, in Microsoft products, I'm having my IIS, Internet Information Server, right? By creating a virtual directory in IIS, by storing my program inside the virtual directory, by creating the instance for my IIS, I could able to when the server is ready to run. So in that case, I will start the server. Just I will go and access via any browser, http://localhost/ my virtual directory name. Virtual directory is nothing but I will create a folder within that IIS. That's all. I will give a directory name slash file name dot asp. That's all. Ultimately, I will get my program ready to run. Right? What that file need to do? What that suppose that particular ASP page is communicating with a different number of corresponding pages. In that case, towards whom all it is communicating everything that I can able to store inside this web.config file. For example, the ASP page is ready to connect with the database. So in that case, that is also being stored in the web.config file. So that much important and significant admin part that you need to know pertaining to ASP.NET. Already we have seen this, right? Ajax. I have taught you once I am completing my XML session, right? This is the thing. What are the advantages of Ajax? That you have to convey the answer for this. What are the advantages of Ajax? So the reason to talk about Ajax is also here, right? I'll tell you the why. But try to convey your answer. What are the advantages of Ajax? Put your option in the chat. A, B, C, D. Which one will be the best option? So expecting your answers in the chat. Question number 5, the option would be post your options. Post your options. What are the advantages of Ajax? A, B, C, D. What would be the best option? It's a platform independent technology, or it provides partial page updates, improved performance, all of the above. Which one? Which one be? Which one be the best option? Please post your answer in the chat. People are posting as B. Yeah? So ultimately, that's the thing. Ajax, because Ajax will provide you everything. Ajax will work with anything because asynchronous communication happening between all types of open sources. That is the ultimate aim of Ajax. That's why it is a platform independent technology. I need a scripting language. I need XML. XML is already a platform independent one, right? Java is already a platform independent one. Scripting, that what we are using over that. Asynchronous communication means it could be able to communicate in a full duplex mode. That's what Ajax, the main role is. Partial page updates. So only the data will be refreshed, not the entire HTML page. That's what the term provides, partial page updates. Improved performance. Yes, ultimately, load balancing for the corresponding website will be managed. That is the reason why Ajax is still having the role, right? I don't know how many of you are aware of that. Ajax, the usage of Ajax is very indirect in open source softwares, right? On open source softwares, it is very indirect. The role of Ajax, that means visibly I could not be able to see in most of the places. The Ajax is working for me, right? It won't be visible for me. It could be running only beginner's case, but only in Microsoft products I could able to see my Ajax visibly, right? Because for creating the web service in either you are going to create in C# or ASP.NET or VB.NET, right? Any one of the platform, any one of the package that you are choosing in the .NET framework, it will ready to support through Ajax only, right? Because uh, the services are being processed, resumed, stopped, terminated, created, instantiated, whatever may be. Everything will be done through Ajax only. The data processing through, or the data which are transmitted back and forth between service and application, or service to service, or service to a website, everything could be managed by the Ajax in a Microsoft product. You could able to see it very visibly, right? See, if you want to communicate between the services, if you want to communicate between the service, you have to run through this Ajax only, right? Because for while you are going to create, even if you have .NET Visual Studio your .NET in your lap or desktop, please check with that. While you are going to create the web service, you will get an option for WCF based on Ajax. The reason to choose that option is that you might that the application and the user, or the service and the application, or service application user, all these people are going to communicate asynchronously. So that is the reason why Ajax is completely visible in Microsoft products, right? I'll show you even during this demo screens that you could be able to see that. So if you have Visual Studio .NET, that you, after this session you could be able to create a web service and you could be able to test it very easily, right? And also I think during my session on the content beyond the syllabus sessions for my XML, that I have taught you how to interact with the JSON files also, right? The lightweighted JSON files. So that's also could play a vital role on this demonstration. So have a idea on that, because uh, we have seen the comparison of the next level, right? Next after to XML we have JSON, because most of the platforms nowadays that what we are working with that are ready to support JSON files, the next level. Because after our web services, the next generation is microservices. For microservices are running over web services. So in that case, the communication must happen through my JSON only. So that is the reason why I suggest you to have or improve your knowledge on JSON. So how to generate a JSON file, how to communicate with a JSON file. If your web application want to communicate with a JSON file, what is the procedure I have to do? By writing a programming construct, if you want to go into communicate with a JSON file, what it matters, right? How to work with the JSON data, right? What are all the operations that can be performed with JSON data? So please have a view on that. That will be more helpful while you are going to work with the microservices, right? That is the next generation of your web services, right? Here goes our how to create a RESTful web service. That is what we are going to see today. So Visual Studio recent version that you could be able to download it for academic purpose from their website. So while you are going to install Visual Studio.NET, I'll tell you some conventions. Based upon that, you try to install. Already, if you have any web servers in your machine, you have to remove it, right? I think in some websites they will mention that you have to stop it and you could be able to install. No, my strong recommendation is if you have already installed any web servers, for example Tomcat or anything related from your NetBeans or IBM Eclipse, if you are going to install any one of these categories, ultimately a default instance of web server will be there. So if you have any web servers already available in your machine, just you remove it, because this would create the installation error for your Visual Studio.net, because already a web server is available as an instant means, while on unpacking your because you will download as a complete exe from the uh, website, right? Even you could go for C.net, or you can download it directly from the Microsoft website itself by getting the academic license, right? Uh, uh, that's what the case. So while it is going to be downloaded as a exe, when you are going to unpack, you will give the location where this complete package need to be installed. In that case, before installation, it will go for a pre-check, right? So in that pre-check, if it found any web server instances, it will install, but it will show you some error while you are going to execute your programs. For example, I think for C++.net and VB.net, it won't be an issue. But when you are going to execute your ASP.net in your machine, or Visual C#.net in your studio, through studio, especially when you are going to execute your server centric programming uh, snippets, ultimately you will have some errors. So again, what you have to, it could be a very cumbersome job, because it's not like open source, right? So Microsoft software, again you have to uninstall everything. Again you have to clear the base for your installation. Again you have to flush your .ini files and .config files. A lot of jobs are there because revamping, again installing this studio.net. That's the reason why while you are going to install your studio.net in your machine, suggestion is that best that remove other web servers. Make sure you uninstall and remove, right? Uninstall and remove. You should not go for a direct removal. So that's the thing. So through your control panel, you are advised to uninstall, right? So assume that we have installed a Microsoft Visual Studio in my machine. The way to go over this, so I will access that in file menu. From that I will access new. I have a content called project. So I have to give the name, right? So in the left side in the panel, you could be able to see you have a set of content. VB, Visual C++. See, on installation, you go for typical installation, right? So it will ask you three types of installation. Okay, basic, typical, custom. So in that you choose typical installation. If you are going to choose a typical installation, the idea here is updates as well as upgrades, both of them will happen automatically. That's the main advantage. As well as if any new feature that is going to be incorporated in the cloud services, if you have activated AWS or any other cloud services in your as a part of your subscription plan, it will be visible for you. I think I suggest you people who are working with the chatbot frameworks of Microsoft technologies, that could be enabled automatically. The platform for that one will be enabled automatically here, right? So that's the reason why I'm suggesting you to go for typical installation. So here I will choose in the left side panel, I will choose my web, because that is the place that will render my ASP.NET application. So I'll be telling you the content why it had shown through Visual C#, right? ASP will give me the, see, I think you could be able to remember in JSP I could be able to write my Java program within the scriptlet tag, right? Likewise here also in ASP I could be able to write my C# code within the corresponding scriptlet tag, right? So remember, scriptlet tag means percentage. Within percentage tag, I will write my Java code directly. Likewise, here also I have the provision that I could able to write my C# code directly within the corresponding ASP. ASP will give me the server nature. So C# I could able to write the code. So a single plate that will give you presentation tier as well as business logic. Business logic would be in C Sharp. My presentation tier will be in ASP.NET. Active server pages, right? Before this Visual Studio.NET has emerged, if I want to run a ASP program, I will install. No need to install. While you are going to install your operating system, your Windows operating system itself, by default, IIS will be installed, Internet Information Server, right? So I will instantiate IIS from by writing a program in Notepad, save the program, filename.asp, right? So that will be stored inside that virtual directory, nothing but a folder created inside, so like our how we will run in our Java. Like what I will do, I will write inside servlets class, servlets folder. Likewise, here I will have classes folder. So within that, I will create and I will store it over that by visiting the browser by typing http localhost :8080 slash that corresponding file name dot ASP that I will get my output. This is the way to run in my IIS normal ASP, right? ASP.NET that has been completely power featured with other packages which are interoperable from the Microsoft.NET framework. So that can be run directly from the Studio.NET, because the reason is IIS could be invoked directly from the Studio.NET. That could be the major reason, as well as this Studio.NET will give me the power features that I could be able to use other servers also to run my, because so many native servers are being developed for the customized application execution, right? So that's also being available in a Studio.NET. Once you explore more on Microsoft products, you could be able to see some interesting aspects, right? But only thing is they are something rigid in creating your like how you effectively that you are creating your jar files for making your custom deployable execution. Those type of things are something to be hard enough to carry forward to other machine. That's a very big troublesome thing that while we are going to work with these types of projects, right? So the location that they have mentioned and the file name has been mentioned as webservice.rest. That could be the name of my project, right? So solution name also being given. So we have chosen everything from, if I have chosen web, automatically I could get my ASP.NET web application. I have named the application. So it now the project was created. Okay, webservice.rest. The project was created now. Once it was created, it will be visible in your solution explorer. That is the reason why solution name also have given. If you are not given, nothing to worry. What is the name that you have given for project, that will be taken over on that. So it is available here now. So what I want to do, I have to right click that project file. If I am going to right click, I have to choose the new item from the corresponding thing and the corresponding menu. From that, I have to choose my add, right? So see that options available over on that. I think I want to explore a thing. See, you could be able to create your direct ASP files also. .asmx. This is directly that I could be able to write my content. So I'll tell you. And also, I think you could be able to see the future. Publish to AWS, right? If you have a plan to subscribe with the AWS already, no need to call the just you open your in your browser, just by supplying your username and password, open your AWS console. It is enough. By default, Studio.NET will communicate with the AWS, right? So I have to use that add menu. So here I am going to create my web service. Here a lot of content have been given, right? That you could be able to see. So I think these are all the possibilities that I could able to create web service in my .NET. Especially, I think I want to show you the first one, WCF service, right? This WCF service, and at the bottom you could able to see web service ASMX. Okay, that is the that could be the manifest file that could be combined along with the XML. Nothing but the first option WCF service and the last option web service, within bracket they have mentioned ASMX. Both of them are ready to work for your corresponding SOAP based services. That's all. That is a only thing, right? No need to worry about that. The first one that they have given, second one, WCF data service. See, if your web service is going to communicate with your database, in that case, it will give you the what do you call connection module along with it. That is the reason why it has been given. See, in our Java that we will incorporate JDBC, right? In the same way, here we will incorporate ODBC, open database connectivity, right? I could by using my drivers, that module will be ready-made available. That will come as a wizard. That's it. So through that, I could able to my service. If it want to connect with a database, I have to choose that option. That's all, not more than that. Okay. So the reason to choose Ajax enabled WCF services, I have shown you a diagram. Remember difference between my SOAP based and RESTful web services. So in RESTful web services, I am going to access the service via a URL, right? Only the thing I am going to work with the data, right? That is the reason why Ajax is visible to us. Even when you are going to work with your servlet, Ajax will be the behind the screen person that you could not be able to identify. But here, to differentiate SOAP based services and RESTful web services, they are mentioning this one as Ajax enabled, right? So that's the reason why that we are choosing this, and we are giving the name that tutorial service. It has been having the extension as SVC web.config, right? I have talked about this file in my corresponding MCQ, right? Web.config. So that could be the major place where I'm going to do my change, right? So it is a XML file again, right? Because when we are going to work with my web service, means without XML, nothing will happen. So I have to identify the tag enable web script. I have to identify the tag enable web script. After identifying the enable web script tag, what I have to do, I have to convert it into web HTTP. Okay. The reason to change this one is, okay, the reason to change this one is I am going to use my native browser. Right. That could be the first thing. Second category is I am not going to run in IIS. Okay, because I am not going to run this program in IIS because this is not a pure ASP program. Okay, this is not a pure ASP program. That is the reason why I am not choosing my complete IIS for execution. The default web server, which is being configured for executing the web application in Studio.NET, will taken care of. Like how a default web server JWS is available for my Java. Likewise, a default web server will be available. So like how we have seen as a Glassfish server in my corresponding NetBeans environment. Likewise, I am having a default web server available in that. So use that web server to inform to that content only. It has been mentioned as web HTTP, right? As well as, and one more thing, in dynamic servers that we will be seeing the two types of method: do get, do post. Here also we will be using that post and get method. So that methods will be identified using this tag. Okay, so that's also a major thing that I have to change this. This is a simple program that what we have written in purely on C#, right? So within the class, I have mentioned here list like an array, right? That what you have seen in your Python. It is ready to store homogeneous data. It had stored 3 strings within that list. LST is the name of the list. This is the simple program, right? Remember that the program is holding 3 entries. That's all. The program is having a list. The list is having 3 entries. Okay. So this could be the second section. How to use or what do you call it? I want to display the available items in the list. Okay, for that you have the code. See the number 2 that represents the code. That code will help me to traverse the list and display the list. That is the reason why. How I am accessing my service. See that I am giving that URL directly. Remember that RESTful API web services will work with the URLs directly, right? By giving the URL only, I am going to access. So by giving that URL, I will access. Tutorial is the name of the URL that I am going to access. Please remember that. Okay. If I want to do any operation on the corresponding thing, for example, by giving that, by giving the zeroth location, I want to retrieve a corresponding parameter by giving in array we have only 3 elements, right? Zeroth location, first location, second location. So here zeroth location array, first location queue, second location stacks. So if I want to access it by giving that ID, I have to use this. For that also I have given my URL. See that under tutorial I have given the tutorial ID, right? That value will be mapped. So I am writing separate services. Please understand, a service for accessing my data, a service for accessing getting all the data, a service for accessing my specific data, right? If I want to add any data in the existing list, for that this code will be helpful, right? So how to access that? That is also I have given using the annotation web invoke, right? So till now we have seen web get. So this is web invoke. I have to access the method and I have to do it. The thing which is given in the red color box is completely based upon my annotation syntax, that what I will use in Java. It is purely based upon my annotations only, right? That the method I have used to post, right? What I am going to enter in my client, that will be executed in the corresponding program, right? So that is the reason why, because I am adding one content from customer end to the web service. I am communicating with the web service. End user is communicating with the web service. That is the reason why I am using the method post. Okay, so please remember that. Even I will access it using the URI/tutorial. That is the reason why. The format, that how I will communicate, using JSON. That is the communication format. I am not using XML. Please remember here, over the XML, I am trying to run a micro service here. Right? Even I could able to perform delete operation. See the red color box is available in the top. I am creating a method delete, right? How could I able to delete a element from the list? For that I am supplying the URI. See that by giving tutorial, by giving the ID. For example, if I want to delete, consider I am having only 3 elements in the list. If I want to delete any one of the element, for example, if I want to delete the first element, I have to give tutorial/0. If I give that, the first element in the list will be deleted, right? That is also I will give the input in the form of JSON only, right? That has been given over there. This is the code, the delete tutorial. That is the code that it is ready to remove the corresponding thing from the corresponding entry from the given list, right? See these methods, remove it, add, these are all the built-in methods of the list class which was available in C#. Right, now I have created everything. What are all the code I have created? So the first code is ready to create my list. Second one is will ready to retrieve to display what are all the items in the list. Next one, to view only one item. Next one, to delete to add an item in the existing list, to delete an item from the existing list. These are all the services I have created. How I am going to work with the services? So how will see, now I'm going to run the content. See, so I'm going to right click the project file. So what I have to do, set a start a project. Why I have to mention this one is, in Java based services, if I'm going to run in my any web service, by default index.html file will run, right? To overcome that, only what we will do, we will right click and run as server. Likewise we will give here also the same option. Instead of run as server, we are making it as set as a startup project. So directly that file will get to be executed. That is the reason why. So once it is going to be set, I have to run it in my Chrome. That green color button, play button, enabled with the Google Chrome, which has been set as a default one, right? But my advice is, whenever you are going to work with the Microsoft Visual Studio, use Edge browser, which is being mapped, which don't throw any exception. Even though if you have any errors, right, the errors will be reflected directly on my browser, could understand and convey you what went wrong. But Google Chrome will don't tell you, because so open source, it will not communicate properly with my Visual Studio, right? But anyway, this demonstration was running over on with Chrome. So how I am accessing the service? So once I press the play button, localhost colon 52645, that is the port number it will run. This is the default port number for corresponding RESTful services being configured. During installation, this number will be occupied, right? That is the main thing. Normally the number between 0 to 65535, within that any one of the number will be occupied during installation in your machine, right? So please remember, See now slash tutorial, I have accessed it. See number 2, that all the elements are being listed, right? It is being displayed as a XML code, right? XML code has been displayed. See that the data is retrieved in the form of XML. Now tutorial /1, what I have retrieved? I have retrieved the second element, 0th location, first location. So in the first location, I am having queues. I have retrieved only the queues. See how I am accessing. I am accessing through URL. URL is localhost colon 52645 / tutorial service.svc. That is the name of the web service. Tutorial is the method. So through that I am accessing. Through URL I am accessing. I am getting a XML program as the output. See that difference between SOAP request and SOAP response. Here the request is a URL, response is a XML program. So this is the output for the first one, that we have seen all the elements in the list. Here I have retrieved only one element from the list by giving /1. So if I want to do operation further, that means to do editing operation on the existing list, I have to install a third-party software called Fiddler, Fiddler. If I have installed that software, by default, this window will come, right? So just double-click Fiddler, this window will come. The same URL what I have typed here over there, those things that has to be typed over there. By default, there will be a get method will be there. You have to change it into post method. So by giving that post method, and if you give this, the content which is available in 3 will be displayed, right? Now I want to do something. I want to add trees. Trees is the one of the data element I want to add in the existing list. I have only 3 elements in the list. 4th element that I am going to add here is trees, right? Now I am going to execute and see. I could able to see the 4th element. Trees is added into the existing list, right? That's the case. I want to delete an item. See /1. I want to delete items. I am doing modification in the existing environment, right? So in that case, I am deleting an item. So what's happening? I have deleted the element which is in the first location. Queues is deleted. So every operation is happening through my URL. So I am contacting the service through URL. I am retrieving the output as a XML program, right? So this is the way to create the RESTful web service and manipulate it, consume it, test it. Everything has happened through the framework of .NET, right? Thank you. If you have any queries, you can post. So if you want to demonstrate through Java that we have to work through servlets. In the place of ASP.NET, I have to use servlets. That's the only major thing that it will differ here.